This is Huevember, a month-long drawing challenge which artists use a limited color palette to make their pieces. And this is Airi Pan. She is an American concept artist and an incredible storyteller. When I first saw this yellow Huevember piece, I wondered if I could achieve the same level of detail, and in this video I will study Airi Pan's painting techniques and use of color theory to create my own series of Huevember illustrations. For this series, I was inspired by my love of fictional magic systems. I needed something with a bold use of colors. Oh, I got it. The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. In this world, light can be channeled into a physical form, into 7 different colors. Airi Pan's course focused on the system behind a good illustration. It had 3 major components: composition, shape and values, and color. In my first attempt at value studies, I used a flat textured brush, but I really should have looked at references beforehand. Looking at her feedback during her live critiques to artists that were much more skilled than I was a very humbling experience. In comparison, I noticed my lines were messy and difficult to read. The references that I chose to study were quite simple in their composition. In my second attempt, I looked for interesting compositions that I could use to really practice and study. In this set of studies, I paid attention to my shape placement. Gray was my midtone. It helped me place the other 2 values, which were black and white. In this study, I noticed how my proportions were off. All of it works together in combination to make a good image. These were the tools that I used. After doing this lesson, I realized that you can decide key elements of your composition with just a few well-placed brush strokes. The third lesson in Airi Pan's course, she shared her foolproof concept painting, and it was way more than just a simple multiply layer. I decided to continue learning while I was doing the Huevember challenge. My goal was to capture the mood and environment around these characters. The first color was sub-red. My main inspiration for this was a mob boss controlling the world. I used 2 different references that had black and white values. At this point, I realized that I did not have a fundamental understanding of colors. This didn't look quite right. I figured out the lighting challenges of the first prompt, and after several attempts of making it work, I realize now that I did not have a colored reference that I could take inspiration and direction from, and I did not have a firm understanding of values to translate it into color. I moved on to the second prompt, which posed its own set of challenges because I introduced perspective. After 15 hours of trying to make this prompt work, I decided to step away for a little while and do some more studies. I decided to do a second attempt. For my second attempt, I was inspired by these studies by Airi Pan. The simple composition focused on brushstrokes, texture, and color. With that in mind, I kept my level of detail extremely simple and focused on getting the colors correct. When comparing it to my color studies, I knew I was on the right track. Next was orange. I started the sketch with a minor character from the series, and in the pages of notes and page references I had, there was only one that I could find. An elegant lady that was capable of drafting hexes and illusions. I took a lot of inspiration from images like these. It really shows the sinister, mysterious, and powerful vibe that I was going for this minor character. And the goal of this illustration was to add a different lighting element. For this piece, I focused on all of the background elements that would show her elevated social class. My favorite part of this illustration is right here, a soft add of gold and orange. It was a proper mix of my style and the fundamentals of Airi's color lesson. My next prompt was yellow. This was the concept that started this entire challenge. I wanted to focus on a background piece. It is Bright Water Wall, and it has a similar impact on the story that the city walls did in Attack on Titan. I was inspired by Roman statues and took inspiration from Breath of the Wild. For this prompt, I used drawing guides to make the building symmetrical. As for the coloring process, it was a process to find and experiment with how marble structure would look in Golden Hour. After I found a reference that I was happy with, I continued the painting process using curves. And for my finishing touches, it was a soft light. I wasn't able to finish the Huevember challenge in time. But I wanted to finish it off strong with green. For the final prompt in the series, I had two main focuses. One, create a simple and seamlessly blended character illustration, and to attempt Airi Pan's introduction into photobashing. The tip for photobashing is to include ambient inclusion. Ambient inclusion pays special attention to how the shadows interact with your lighting source. I finished off the green prompt by adding a slight highlight using color dodge for the sword and soft light for the character, giving him a sun-kissed glow. These are two techniques that Airi uses in her own work. So what did I learn from this 2-month-long study? By taking what I learned and applying it,
I was able to bring some of my favorite characters to life. The best part is I finally found a great way to color my illustrations. Which color was your favorite? And if you want to try Airi Pan's course, or check out the references that I used, linked them in the description below. Thanks for watching.